on the troll.
Hello and welcome back to Mzanzi back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about what happened in that court.
Yes.
And we can start by saying there's a bit of redemption that is currently happening. When things are happening and they happened in a manner that they were not supposed to happen in, someone must come and clean up. Nisi seemingly is in that court. I don't know what the argument is, but
Yes.
he's cleaning up. He's doing a cleanup. So it's a long try, if you ask me, but it is worth it. What I think that I missed, I think that I was not happy about, is the fact that he didn't probe what he had started in terms of following up with Gininda, of what he said when he said he was sure there was a communication between the accused number 3. But I think in that sense it's still going to go there, because these are questions that are mostly not actually all of them, they were about accused number 2, which is an accused that is represented by Ramsipir Ntanzi. Yeah, so there was a bit of cleanup that was happening, as we were not happy, I guess, but uNkulunkulu uyezwa, uzwile uNkulunkulu athi hayi cha bayakhala abantu abami thi ngibehlisele uMoses ke umnisi, Moses indoda ezoqoqa nezosusa izinto ezibhedayo in Zulu. Basically what is going to happen, I think I'm happy with. And that would mean that Mnisi is going to be there for a bit longer than we would have anticipated. But it's just dealing with the issues that perhaps Ramsipile dealt with, but not in a manner that in this studio we were happy about. And I'm going to say in this studio because others were okay. So in this studio we were not happy about them. We were like, we didn't feel it. The man was not answering most of the questions that were posed, and some of the questions were seemingly bringing problems more than solutions. So, yeah, Emily, greetings.
Hi. Welcome back, you guys. Welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us here again for another deliberation of the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Yeah, the proceedings of the 21st of November 2024 will be the proceedings of redemption. You understand, the cross-examination. Well, you're not the only one who felt like Nisi's cross-examination was to correct the Ramasipile's mistakes. There was a lot of people saying that, the mistakes and errors bit by bit, they are being cleaned up, Although, we felt some type of way last week and a lot of damage was done. It was, but now Nisi is coming in and he's really, really cleaning up all of that mess that happened last week, and he's taking his time bit by bit. He's like, when you chew a big elephant, you eat it piece by piece. You cannot finish it all in one day.
No.
And he's really, really attempting and trying his best, and it's nice to see the good teamwork. Instead of one wanting to outshine the other, it's pointless at this stage.
Yes.
So seeing them work hand in hand, Ramasipili did perhaps acknowledge his mistakes, even though he didn't want to do it to the public opinionists.
No,
but
didn't
internally you can tell that he's a man of integrity, and he decided, you know what, Advocate Nisi can take over when it comes to cross-examining some aspects that he didn't attend to when it came to accused number 2.
Obviously, we can say we can celebrate here, but do expect questions that are gonna come in and pop up and say, "Are you now representing accused number 2 in that?" I was surprised they did not come today.
No, they could not have come because they were not a repetition of what Ramasipili had asked. It was more.
But they're gonna try to say you cannot cross-examine one witness with two.
But it's now difficult because Gininda opened that door with his hearsay by saying, like, kind of including all the accused in his giving of evidence and saying that, including accused number 4 when he was answering pertaining to accused number 1. And he even emphasized it today later on, surprisingly, talking about how he cannot exclude accused number 2's warning statement from the rest of the accused. So it's kind of tricky now. It's not so...
It is going to be tricky. I'm just saying, obviously there is no grounds to argue that. You can ask questions as these accused are interlinked, as long as the defense of that accused is happy with it. It's not an issue, but they must guide against making it look apparently. It must not look like they are doing it.
No, it did not look like it at all.
Lindy Webab, thank you.
Thank you, Lindy.
Thank you very much for your gift.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate you. You are much appreciated. Just on that note, Hleshe, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Hleshe.
God bless you all, guys. Continue doing what you are doing, and we appreciate you guys that you come in this tiring day. It's tiring for me because I'm doing something else. I'm also working. I thought I was done writing tests, but I'm still writing tests for other things, guys. So my day is just a mess. Even following this case, I had to go through it once. Normally, I would go through it twice, clear things. But I had to go through it once. Luckily, it was not that long. It was short today. We face a lot of things, but it's a story for another day. Let's continue.
Okay, guys, let me now continue with giving you and dishing out what happened in court. Mnisi continued with his cross-examination of Brigadier Gininda. And Mnisi started by saying that there was something that was bugging him and continued to bug him, and it had been happening for a long time. He said that he was trying to decipher what is the imperative that when a suspect gets arrested by the police, items that are found in his possession are supposed to be seized and supposed to be put in a cell and registered in the relevant books at the police station. Gininda said that so there are more than one reasons. Firstly, if the items are not going to be used as exhibits on the case or utilized as evidence or to obtain further evidence, those items will be seized and put on the SAP 22, which is the prisoner property register. They have nothing to do with the case in question or forming part of the exhibit. As and when the arrested person is released from prison or gives permission to the next of kin or whoever he mandates to take that item, such item will then be released to that person or to the arrested person's directive. So if they're saying, give this particular items to my next of kin, after they've communicated and instructed them, then that it can happen. So he said that the second one, though, related to when the exhibit or the seized item, the police are of the view that they'll utilize it as evidence so that they will want to conduct further investigations on it, trying to obtain such evidence. He said that such items will be seized for or from the arrested person. Then that item is entered into the SAP 13, and that is the book that records all the seized exhibits with the reference of the case number and the person who seized it. Once it's taken there, it's now forming part of the investigation, and depends on the item whether it is something you need to send to forensics or if it's something like an illicit substance or firearms that you need to send to ballistics, and even cell phones that need to be downloaded. It depends on what is in there. So those items are seized and they will remain there until the police have finalized their investigation. So with this whole thing of having Tanzi being accused of having a phone with him all the time from the time that he got arrested, and it was not booked into these SAP 22 or SAP 13 at least, and then they're accusing him of having activities on that phone, meaning that he was using it. And Nati, we are wondering and asking ourselves, where and how could he have possibly charged that phone for those many months? You know, it's all weird, but he was trying to explain himself, or rather try to create this narrative that, you know what, he had the phone with him, but we will see where this will end. So he said that this item will then be disposed accordingly after, for instance, if the matter goes to court, after such exhibit has been finalized, then an order can be given by the court and it can be disposed according to that order that is given. And it also depends on the item, if such items can be kept according to the SAP 13. He said some perishable items are recorded and then stored accordingly. For example, cash or money, you can't keep it in the SAP 13. So it's obvious that it should be handed back to the SAP 13 or back to the relevant authorities, not back to the SAP 13, but back to the relevant authorities.
With conditions, such as this should be used for NSFAS only. Monica. No, so I said Monica. Yeah, Monica. Mandy, thank you very much for your generous gift. Thank you. We appreciate you. You are giving us an age.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And guys, those who forgot to renew the membership, please, let me just take this time. Renew that membership, guys, if you can. And I'm saying this because we do rely on that membership. I'm not gonna lie, we do rely on your gift. We do rely on that membership. You know, YouTube is everything. Sometimes you guys come in here and say things, and those things can actually cancel that video for us, in a sense that it is now not acceptable according to the guidelines of YouTube. So that video is just there for fun of it. So it does not do anything. More so if we allow calls. So these gifts, they come in handy, and the membership do cover for that. That's why we are able to continue without any disturbance. That's why we're able to assist where we can, where in buying electricity for this house studio, so that we can push, because this is not our house. This is not mine. This is not Emily's house. We are using it, though, to its effective. Yes. So, just to say the least, thank you very much, guys, for what you are doing. We see you. So, hence, we do some of the things. Let them go. You know, you notice how strict we were, but we are still strict, and we hope that you don't ruin all the videos. You ruin couple and you leave some, you know. For us, so
and then the punishment also comes in where if you keep getting many of those videos with
the strike.
Not even, sometimes not even a strike, it's just a warning, and then you end up being squashed in the algorithm. So that's why we encourage you guys to press that like button. At least when you press that like button, you help the video be seen, especially by those who are subscribed.
Yes.
Understand?
That's basically the gist of the like. The like is very important,
that's
guys.
Why
you might
we
undermine
for the
it.
Like.
It pushes, you know, just watching, it pushes to a right direction, even if we are being squashed. But it does happen that it pushes us to those people. And check if you are still also subscribed and we are on the alert in terms of being notified if we are live. Those are the things that you need to check, because for some weird reason sometimes you can be all of a sudden everything just changes. So we are saying this because you guys need to know. Some of you might ask, why are we joining membership? We say join membership because we also want to be loose a bit. Just not say mess up, but just in case it happens and we are here and we know how where to get the source of electricity, to get the source of pumping all these things that we need to pump, so that we don't like asking. We're not all those people who are going to come here and ask, hey, now we need a caber, now we need a no, we don't do that. Just for the times it was once off. Yeah, but let's continue. I mean,
yeah. So Mnisi asked to approach the mic that was a little bit closer because the aircon for some weird reason was very loud today. Even I could hear it through my headset.
I feel like some of these things are done on purpose. You know
Why is
what
the aircon
aircons
so
do?
loud?
We also have an aircon in this office. Sometimes you'd see Emily as I switch it on. You see Emily sitting there
very
like
cold.
she hates it.
I don't like
She
the
hates it.
aircon.
Very
I'm
disturbed,
one
yeah.
of those girls in the office who would want to bring a blanket.
Yeah,
because
so
everyone
I
has a
there's this
aircon.
fixed aircon. I also hate it. I like it because I hate the hot environment, but you know, sometimes those office ones, they are fixed at a certain they are just cold as hell, more so if the office is empty like ours. So I normally move to where there's like a lot of people are breathing, so it just makes it a bit warmer there. I'm not a person who also enjoys wearing jacket. You wear a jacket in an environment where it's hot outside. Then when you go out, you have
It's
to.
very hot.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but I do push it now and then. I mean, like now, these lights are hot. And the machines that we're using here, they do need a cold environment so that they can function properly.
Yeah. Pushing a 2-hour live mtakabao with this.
It's tough. Yeah.
So Nisi is asked Gininda, would security be one of the considerations after he asked him about, what did he ask him about prior to this? Oh, he was asking about the security measures, what happens with the items.
Yes, it was.
What happens with the items when the person gets arrested. And Gininda said yes, for example, if he sees a firearm from one of the arrested person, moving that person from the point of arrest to the police station, you can't let that person carry the firearm. There'd be danger with doing that. Cell phones as well. You might think that if a cell phone is left with the arrested person to the detention, all manner of things, yes, security does form part of those reasons. So Mnisi then said to him, according to information that is on record, Sergeant Mohani and the late Sergeant Mabena having received information with regard to the complicity of Mr. Ntanzi in this case, approached him on the 16th of June 2020 in Phokeng. Information that is on record says that they had an interaction with him, upon which they then called you, Brigadier Gininda, and then went to meet with them on the 18th at Sibanya Gold Mine, somewhere in Western area. It is your testimony that you then met him, Mr. Ntanzi, for the first time in Phokeng. Gininda corrected Nisi there to say that it wasn't in Phokeng where he met him, it was actually in Carltonville. And Nisi said, according to Sergeant Mohani, when they started to talk to him, you and Sergeant Mohola were not there. It was only him and Sergeant Mabena. And Gininda said that if Sergeant Mohani said that, then he was not there while he was testifying, and he can only relate to his presence when he arrived and met the accused number 2.
I like how everything was pushed to Gininda, and then all of a sudden,
I was not there when he testified.
A proper cross-examination is happening. People start saying, I was not there. That is not something you'd expect from the mighty Gininda.
Gininda, my lord.
No, that's not something.
I wasn't expecting that. But he's trying. I heard Nisi referring to his answers as a sermon.
Yeah, it is a sermon. Sometimes a sermon that does not have a reference in terms of where it comes from.
I thought I was the only one to prepare for the show using Brigadier Gininda's
It's
testimony.
hard. Very hard.
Guys, I'm
You
going
ask him
through a lot.
what was the color of a car. Then he tells you that the model was made from this and this. I know 1, 2, 3 about this model.
No. The sky is blue. The grass is green. The rise of the sun is golden.
So therefore, we had to be standing perpendicular to what.
Yes, as you know, the modus operandi of the standing next to perpendicular to this car meant that it moving had no situation whatsoever that had to do with it being stationary. However, my lord, it being blue in color means that we had to go now and fetch whatever. I'm like, what is going on?
This guy.
What is going on? Can't you just answer the question?
Yeah, a simple yes or no can be half of a page if you are writing something.
Yeah, I've never encountered such. Every time he testifies, I dread it. I don't wanna lie. You guys may be excited. I have a bit of anxiety inside because I know
it's pain.
That my heart, my job, it becomes harder.
It's pain. It's painful going through the stuff that this man is talking about. I will tell you that. The thing is, you have to go through it because you also have to be more careful. You can't just go through it.
Yeah.
So you have to be more careful.
Yes. You must take in everything he says.
Like people were saying he was blabbing. Let him blab on Ramsey Bill.
Can't they know?
No, he's not blabbing. He's actually bringing every evidence that was dead to life. Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, dude.
So he continued to say that what happened prior, he thinks that Sergeant Mabena and Mohani will be in a better position to handle that. So Mnisi then asked him, according to Mohani, on your arrival, they introduced you to accused number 2. They then gave you a space to talk to accused number 2. And he said that if his memory serves him well, and Gininda said that he wasn't sure how Mohani put it, but yes, he was introduced to accused number 2. He said he introduced himself, then carried on with the interview. So Mnisi then asked him, now, was there any particular briefing that Mohani gave you with regard to the conversation that Mohani had with accused number 2 at Carltonville where you met them? And Gininda said, no, there wasn't. So the first briefing that he got from Mohani was on the 16th from Sergeant Mabena. They briefed him that they had arrested accused number 2 in relation to the Nongoma matter. He says he was then informed on the 18th that they are going to Carltonville, that that's the verifying that he got telephonically. And in that, they also tried and followed the alibi of the cases that were there when they were investigating in Carltonville. And that's when,
in a nutshell, we can almost say Bondanzi, they were right in saying that they were arrested for this case. Because, look, as much as they are trying to bring this other stuff on, in fact, it's him who said that they must find the ways of keeping them. Remember that? Yes. So it seems as if they were right. And I don't know if there was anyone who was doubting them. In any case, I never doubted their memory. I never doubted them.
It seems like after today, Honanama, I'm convinced that maybe they were not lying. They were telling the truth.
No. It seems that way.
The hunt was always for Senzo's matter from the very beginning.
The answering when it comes to such questions, it is scary and it keeps on changing. It's a roller coaster it keeps on unfolding in a different way. And it comes back and it unfolds in a different way. You ask yourself, what is going to be the final answer again? You know, like for instance, was Ndanzi asked about Senzo's case upon his arrest. Now it seems as if, yes, he was. Before Gininda, he was. but there was a suggestion that there was no such.
Yes.
It just came voluntarily.
Yes,
As they
just,
were investigating him.
They
So
volunteered the
and these are
information.
things that are not said by Ntanzi or any of the accused. They are said by people who arrested them.
Yes.
You know, now and they seem to contradict each other when it comes to that. When Mamfundis came, he was singing a different tune.
Yes.
She was seemingly insinuating that without asking Danza about Senzo, he volunteered to give the information such as that one.
And then she called Brigadier Gininda.
Upon hearing what was
He even said that
purported
he wanted to tell her something.
Yes. And then today we are hearing that he was asked upon his arrest. As such, it's scary, man. It's scary. But welcome, SD Gundunkomo Mkwasha Kadlozi. Yeah. Welcome to our membership. And I saw yes. I saw also Boitumelo. I think you are renewing Boitumelo. You were once here.
Thank you, Boitumelo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kachwa Kadlozi.
Yeah,
Hope I pronounced that right. Well, he said that when he was asked, because it was brought to his attention that it seems to be saying that accused number 2 said that he was at work or something to that effect, and that's when he said, let me meet up with him in Carltonville, because this aspect is something that I want to try and handle myself. Then they got to carry on with their matters, and that is when Brigadier said that he got there. And when he arrived, it was prior to his arrival, he was informed all of this via the phone or telephonically. And Nisi asked him, part of the information that they briefed you about also had to do with the current case. And Gininda said yes, he thinks, according to his recollection, was to the extent that he said to them that at one, he doesn't know at what stage, but he said to them that he was at work, and they briefed Brigadier Gininda on that one. And he said that he wanted to be present, mainly the matter that they were seized with, but this particular one, as he was the leading investigator in it, they had to brief him as he was the lead IO, and take guidance from him as to what must be done.
So are you saying that when they arrested him with regards to Nongoma case and other cases, it was not his team?
That is what he's alluding to. He's distancing himself completely from the other
They were
cases.
not the team that is under. Ned, thank you very much. The lights on this channel shall never go out as long as I am breathing. We are unstoppable force. We are family. I love you so much. We love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ned. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
They shall never go.
No, the lights shall never go out.
No ESCOM, no anything will stop us. We are here. We are here. Thank you very much, though. We appreciate this. It's humbling. So, in a sense, he sends them, or they are working on. You know what is fun about this thing? You arrest Ntanzono Nongoma case. You are not even part of the investigation. You were not even part of the investigation when Butelezi, Makimba, and everyone was arrested, right?
Yes.
Which has to do with this case. But you go as far as going to arrest Ntanzi now. I don't know if you get me. You are not involved. These things happen in KZN, someone in KZN. Yes, police are everywhere. Police are supposed to police everywhere. But who mandated you to go after Ntanzi?
Specifically for the Nongoma case.
For Nongoma case. Who mandated you? What was it about? why did you go and arrest Ntanzi?
Okay,
It's like you woke up one day,
that
you're like,
already had a conviction.
hey, you're like, yeah.
When Ntanzi, I doubt if he appeared as a witness or a suspect.
This is funny, man.
You now arrest him in relation to that.
So we are supposed to believe that, okay, you were arresting Ntanzi for Nongoma case, but there is no link between you and Nongoma case in as far as the work is concerned. Insofar as the work is concerned, there is no link. Insofar as the work is concerned, that was done to Boma Kimba and everyone else who was arrested for that case. And all of a sudden, these two guys that you arrested in a questionable way, they are confessing. In all honesty, Bafeti, I wonder if there was ever a court, not a kangaroo court. Mina, as a judge, I would kick this thing out and put my big boot on top of it so that no one takes it off and it sees the day again. No, this is just eventually it is becoming a bit of garbage. But yeah, well, it was advised then by NPA.
Yeah, NPA.
Yeah,
has a lot of
we cannot isolate NPA to this whole ruckus that we are going through.
They are the ones who decided that it's fit for trial.
Let's continue.
And another question I wanted to ask, was it not a conflict of interest to have Mokhani investigate Ntanzi for the case of Nongoma, and now he's calling Brigadier Gininda in the middle of the night or whatever, while they are going to supposedly look for an alibi for Senzo's case that Mokhani did not claim to have been investigating prior to the 18th or the 17th, or when Brigadier Gininda first popped up? Like,
they will say it will not be a conflict of interest because, I mean, one thing or one way or another, you can be arrested for another case and then another case arises on the basis of the evidence that they get there. We can sort of accept that. It does happen.
The intertwinedness of it all.
My
case is
the timing.
KZN. Here you are in Gauteng handling that case. You get this person, fine. You get them arrested.
The timing of these two being arrested. The timing, it is questionable. The timing is questionable.
So I'm going to take a guess here to say that they started investigating for the Senzo case first. Actually, it was the only investigation that they were concerned about at that point, because there's no evidence that is telling us that the investigations for the Nongoma case was even there. So far, it's not been spoken about much as this, because the weird thing here is that they went to Western area in Carltonville where Ntanzi previously worked. The following day, right, they take him to Carltonville to check for his alibi before the lead investigator arrives.
Is that what happened?
That's how they are putting it. Before Brigadier
didn't
arrived,
Gininda say he was there, or Ntanzi say Gininda was there?
Ntanzi said Gininda was in the boardroom interrogating and interviewing with Mokhani, but then Gininda denied being in that boardroom before they went to Carltonville.
But he went with them to Carltonville.
But he says he got a call as they arrived at Carltonville. He got a call and they said he must come to Carltonville to check the alibi of Ntanzi. So if things happen the way Brigadier Gininda and Mokhani are saying, because they were
investigating Senzo's case, not what they purported as Nongoma case.
Yes. So they were absolutely investigating Senzo's case. So Mnisi then asked him, now you meet accused number 2 at Carltonville. You then had a discussion with him in regard to this case, which was the reason why you drove to Carltonville. Gininda said yes, but it wasn't a detailed discussion. It was to say we have reason to believe he was involved. And he responded by saying that he was at work on the 26th. So here, Ntanzi is being taken. He speaks. Ntanzi is the only one who's talking about this interview in the boardroom. Mohani did not want to speak or testify much about it. And then Brigadier Gininda completely denies being in that boardroom. So out of nowhere, out of thin air, Mohani decides, let's go to Carltonville Western area. Right? Let's go to Carltonville Western area and check for Ntanzi's alibi. As they are in Western area, he decides, let me call Brigadier
Insofar as Nongoma case.
Let me call Brigadier Gininda.
Because this is his case.
Yeah.
Yet I'm investigating Nongoma case.
Make it make sense. Now I'm believing Ntanzi's version more. Ntanzi's version more for me makes sense. I don't know about you guys, but his version,
if you put it like this
together,
now, like you see who's lying here.
I've asked myself before, why is Brigadier Gininda denying being in that boardroom? For what the reason? Was it wrong for him to be in that boardroom? Was it not supposed to be? Why is he denying being in that boardroom?
Because there's no OB entry. There are a lot of things that are wrong about that boardroom.
So he would rather have...
And the questions and the theories that are put behind that boardroom and whatnot. Because he wants to say that subsequently when he started asking, after asking the question to Ntanzi started coming forth and giving all this information like 26 October and all that. So it kills that. It kills that. Because that means Ntanzi would have known or would have been asked about these questions. So 26 was not something that came from him, as he suggests that he did not expect Ntanzi to just talk about the 26th October. Yet there were seemingly questions that were put. Nisi was very smart about moving on this one.
How did they arrive at Sibanye still water mine in Western area without having asked Ntanzi about the incident?
Yes.
That's what they cannot explain. That is what is left hanging. So Mnisi then said, you said accused number 2 gave you the date of the 26th of October, and that's when your interest started to develop about this possible involvement or his possible involvement in this case. Gininda said no, the interest was already there. It first came from the statement of Absalom Zungu. This is something that he noted to say, how could he have known the exact date? I didn't give him the date, but he just gave me the date that's on this particular date. And he said, I was at work. I did not commit that offense. Nisi said, Mohani told this court that in the process of them investigating for the Nongoma case, they also introduced the subject of this case. And this is how they introduced it. And Mohani told this court, what is it that accused number 2 knows about the death of Senzo Meyiwa? And accused number 2 responded by saying that he heard it on the news because it was all over the media. Gininda said that he does not want to venture into the evidence of Sergeant Mohani in court because he was not there. I do remember Mohani saying this though in his testimony.
Yeah.
I do.
Yes. I
do. That's why Mohani's testimony made sense. Now with Gininda, now it is wishy-washy. I'm lost.
It does not make sense.
I'm lost. You just rock up at the Sibanye Stillwater mine, which is the incident of the scene, without having prior asked or interrogated about the incident, without it ever being mentioned before. Because Mohani did admit that he did in the boardroom, right?
Yeah.
He did question about the Senzo case.
Yes, he did.
Baloy then said that he wanted the date on which Sergeant Mohani testified about this, the occasion as to exactly when this interaction took place, because Mohani said several interactions with accused number 2.
All
They are
right.
saying that Mohani said he had several interactions.
Right, guys, just to help towards Lang, guys, just like the video. He's been pushing for this video to be liked. So I'm asking
Please
also
like the video, guys.
on our
like the
behalf.
video.
And everyone who's interested in this channel and who really is part of this channel, because there are people really who are owning this channel other than us. So please, guys, assist in liking the video. Don't forget.
Please.
I know that
Smash the like button.
sometimes ungena kulugutu and then you forget, and it's normal. I do that a lot with other people's video, not intentionally. You find that okay, the content is vying. Now all of a sudden I'm just
Hi, Mina. I watch what I like. Even though they don't ask, because some have given up, they don't even ask anymore. But I just press it, you know.
Yes.
So Mnisi said that he was reading from his notes, unless if his colleague is suggesting that he should have.
That was some
it
sort
into
of
the
disturbance.
report.
That was supposed to disturb the whole situation, but luckily, the experience of Nisi just prevailed. Just prevailed because he was not swayed. I like Nisi's personality. I like it.
It helps to smile.
It's like he grew up being a person who mocks a lot of people. You know, he's got that body language, so he's used to these things. If it comes to that direction, he's used to that thing. But one thing for sure, he's not gonna take anything lying down.
No.
And you cannot see easily through his body even when he's pissed.
That's great. That's a great character.
It's a rare
characteristics to
character
have.
that you can possess, and it helps you a lot.
It helps a lot, especially with those bullies at work. I'm sorry, guys. I'm traumatized. But yes, the bullies at work need you to not show when you are upset that you are upset. The moment they see that you are expressing, you have expressions in your face, they will overdo it.
They use it against you.
They will
So
push you to the limit.
as I'm saying, as I'm also writing. So I'm saying, I'm saying that this is what I meant when I said Mshololo. I hope he's also taking notes in terms of how to deal with these things, because, you know, Mshololo can be a beast if she wants to. You know, she's got that in her. But in this court, I think they've studied her a lot. Him, Ramsipil, and Ngomal. Yeah, Ngomal. So it seems as if they know. Ngomal, I think it's
How
based
to
on the
stop
fact that
him.
he's still fresh, and yeah, he's not gonna bite back, unlike Bodalimpofu and the rest of the others. But I hope that they look at something here and take it. In terms of, we're not saying change your line of questioning, but your behavior.
Don't wear your emotions
When you
on
get
your
in
face.
there, you must know. You must block every noise that comes outside. Block it by
Don't wear
all
your
means.
emotions on your
Block
face.
it by all means.
If you're upset, smile. If you are happy, be upset. Like confuse the enemy. That's what.
So that's what I meant when I said Mshololo would need something like this. You know,
confuse the enemy.
block everything. It's like you're in a stadium, you're taking a penalty, everyone's hopes are on you. Just block everything. Everything must go in a slow motion according to your pace. You know, that's one thing.
Yes.
According to your pace.
Most definitely.
That's all that I think Mshololo would need to finish up, followed by Mngomezulu. We have a strong lineup towards the end. The tail is really strong, as would say in cricket. A tail is strong here. We have a very strong tail. So let the games begin. I'm happy that from here, it's going to be Ngumalo. Maybe Ngumalo is cold and hot. You know, he is a beast. He's got a beast in him. But I feel like he's still second guessing himself. No,
He
more
has
so.
the same
Yeah.
problem, sort of similar with Ramasipili. He doesn't want to step on toes. Doesn't want to upset
I wouldn't put him in the same category as Ramsipin. Ngumalo
his
has
response.
Ngumalo has a potential of being a shark. He's got that potential, and the questions that he asked, he has never asked a question Ngumalo that I felt like that was a useless question. You know,
Okay.
that's what I can say. But what is missing is a fight back when we are being distracted, objections and whatnot. That's what is missing. Oh, that look also to a judge that says, "Are you approving of my question?" I wish I can do. I could just let that thing go.
Let it go.
Let that thing go.
Don't look at him.
Yeah, you will hear by the voice and whatnot, and be ready to fight for. Don't let go of things like that. You know, someone is just objecting, and then you're like, okay.
Get your section what handy on standby. You have your cross-examination and you have those laws that you need to recall that you have been disturbed with your cross-examination before, and they just bring this random stuff. You should have a list of those things by now and what law to use to fight.
I know it's a difficult thing, and we're basically not teaching you how to, we are observing.
But
we observe as we are spectators. We as even soccer players, they learn a lot from us because we watch and we tell you. See the problem. You normally take a run early, off the shoulder. Basically, we're watching. We're sitting here. We're watching, and mostly what I've seen from Ngumalo's faces, that I'm waiting for an approval from you, my Lord. You know, the question, did I ask it in the right way? Are you happy? You know,
you don't need his approval. Because he will always try and like make you lose focus.
One thing I can take from...
I don't know how many questions
one thing I can... and it's valid questions. Valid. When you listen to them and re-listen to them, you find Guti, this guy was asking a valid question. What I can take from Shololo, maybe give it to Nguman, a standing firm. Shololo has it. Just give a bit of it to Nguman. Then we have a complete beast.
Yes.
But let's continue.
Now, Nisi continued to say that if his learned colleague feels that what he was putting to the witness is not what Mohani said, then he should raise that, but he cannot be expected to say that on such a date, this is what Mohani said.
Exactly.
And this is found
in
this portion.
How many times have Ngumalo been disturbed through
because of this? Yeah.
This is a useless objection.
True.
Did you look at how Nisi squashed it?
It is. Nama, I didn't know, and I heard on the X streets that actually it's a technique that the state is using every time to interrupt the cross-examinations by asking for the exact date referred. But there's no need for them to do that, apparently.
There's no need. There's no need.
So I was shocked. I was like, Advocate Baloyi requests these things all the time from the defense, but apparently they're not
If you stand up,
required.
there's a difference. If you stand up and say, my learned colleague is asking this question, but this was not said like this. It was, my Lord, said like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a different situation. But if you're going to stand up and say, refer us, no, you don't need to do that.
Well, Mnisi said that he didn't write the date on which this testimony Mohani was proffering, and he wrote it in his notes. But the gist of what he's saying is, if he feels that what he's putting to this witness is not what Mohani said, then he needs to mention that, and they need to go and revisit the record. But to expect him to do as he does, it's going to be very cumbersome, because Yena is not going to request a postponement to go and read Mohani's testimony in its entirety. And he said that it goes up to 2 weeks, Mohani's testimony. So if Advocate Baloyi wants that, then he will have to request for a postponement for him to go through that testimony of 2 weeks. So that was a fight indeed. He put up a fight to Nisi, and none of these objections were brought up again. And another thing is that if Nisi is lying and that is not on the record, I mean, there's a chance for the state to be vindicated in the arguments, right? In the argument stage, they can pull it up to say this is not what had been said. But every time Baloi wants to interrupt the cross-examination, he comes up with this objection that I don't understand. Can we please get the date and the time and the reference and the page in the record where they said this? I mean, come on. Then Baloi conceded.
Dan Bone, thank you for joining membership.
Thank you, Dan Bone. And Baloi conceded and said that it's fine. They can proceed.
N or M, Bone or N?
Bone.
Bone.
Okay.
Yes.
Dan
I was
Bone,
thinking
thank
of who's this guy who plays with Bone. But yeah.
Well, he said that it's fine. They can proceed and they will correct the record at a later stage should the need arise. Exactly. Nisi continued with his cross-examination. He said, "You then agree with me that when accused number 2 gave that response that he heard on the news, it was all over the media. He was telling the truth because this incident took place in 2014. 26th of October, and he gets confronted with these allegations in 2020. That's almost 6 years." And Gininda said correct, but besides the reason that it was 6 years later, for me, it was interesting that you will remember that specific day. It's a different story of saying I've heard on the news that this person was killed. So Brigadier Gininda here wants to pretend like for the mere fact that they were in Sibanye still water mines, it is not an issue that he had been brought there or he had been called to go there to verify an alibi, and up to Ntanzi's prior meeting with him in Carltonville, as he alleges. Now I'm more inclined to believe that he was definitely in that boardroom. That's me. That's my opinion. And the trip to go check Ntanzi's alibi specifically at Sibanye Still Water Mines definitely came from somewhere. It didn't just come from the air. And if he won't admit that it came from Mohani, because that's another part that I felt he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to say Mohani interviewed Ntanzi regarding the Senzo case. And after interrogating Ntanzi, then it must have come from him, in my opinion.
Yes.
So there are certain things that are pointless to me that I feel like they're denying, and the more they deny, it almost makes them look like they're concealing
They
the
look
truth.
fishy.
Yes.
They look fishy. It's worrisome to see them do that a lot. And it was okay when we did not know about them that much. But now that we have studied most of their moves, it makes us to believe the accused more than them. Because why would you deny certain things like that?
Little things that shouldn't matter. But here you are denying vehemently.
But they matter because they know where they're going to get caught. That's the thing. They know what lies ahead should they admit that they were there. That would mean also, one, they have lied. Even if they do want to admit to that, that would mean they have lied.
Gininda then said that Omnisi stopped him and said to him that Brigadier Gininda was still talking about what you told Mohani, or what accused number 2 told Mohani, not you, because now Brigadier Gininda was talking about himself, And Gininda said, "But my lord, I think I dealt with that part, that insofar as what Mohani and accused 2 discussed, it would be difficult for me to get in there because I was not there. And even when Sergeant Mohani testified, I was not in court. I can only refer to the discussion accused 2 had with me. And I was trying to explain why I found it peculiar and interesting." Nisi said, having asked him that question, they went on to ask him where he was on the 26th of October, to which he replied, "I was at a mine in in Western area. That's what Mohani said. And Gininda said he was not there and he doesn't want to say much. Nisi then said subsequent to that, then Mohani went on to say on the 18th of June 2020, which is the day you also met them, they followed his alibi at Sibanye Stillwater mine. Gininda said he could agree to the 18th. That's where he met the accused or met them, the rest of the team. Then Nisi said, now the point being, because in your evidence in chief you said you found it very strange, why would he specifically remember his whereabouts on the 26th of October 2014 when you have not put it to him? Now, would that not have been because of the fact that he had already been confronted with the same information before you confronted him? In other words, before you confronted him, your colleagues had already confronted him with the same allegation. Gininda said if he has been confronted, yes, logic would make sense that it's still fresh in his memory and he might remember if it happened like that. But he was not briefed by Sergeant Mohana as it's being put to him that they confronted him. He said, we gave him the date and then this is what he said. That is not the brief that I got. I don't remember specific dates had been given to me. When I spoke to him, he did not say that. I already got the information of the dates from Sergeant Mohani, who I already gave them and was not put to me by accused number 2.
Usani Sinda Sibanda, welcome back to membership. And Gloria Berger. God bless you. Thank you very much for your generous offer. We appreciate you. Generous gift. We appreciate you. God bless you. God bless all of you who have joined. God bless you who have liked.
Yes. May God increase wherever you are taking that money
The
from.
strength of pressing the like button. The strength of subscribing. We appreciate it.
Yes, the strength of pressing the like button. Nisi said we are not privy. Accused could not have been privy to what Mohani told you about. All that I'm referring to here is what Mohani told this court. And Gininda said, I hear what Advocate Nisi is saying. The essence of my response is that if accused 2, for example, had said to me, I was informed by Sergeant Mohani, I would have left it at that. Or if he said to me, I just watched the news a few days ago where this date was articulated, and that is how I remember that it happened on this day. I know I was at work. But the question is, did you even ask him? That's the question I have. Did you even ask him?
Because you know what is fun about that statement? He said, upon Tanzi telling him about the date, he was surprised. But it was an internal thing. He said it like that. He was thinking, oh, why is he telling me about that? Now he's making it sound as if he asked him that question. Sidi, I'm happy. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sidi. Thank you. Thank you so much. Then Gininda continued to say that it would have been a logical explanation. One would not put something or try to make something out of that explanation because it would be reasonable. That's not the impression that he got when he spoke to him. Nisi said that he did not want to argue this point or make a meal out of it. But if he is throwing it back to accused number 2, that he did not tell him that he already explained what he told him to Sergeant Mohani, the same question could have been asked to him, right?
So, yes. Now, is it not becoming clear that there was absolutely no investigation that was done? Is it not pointing? I mean, those things that are being asked, those are simple things that you'd normally spot check as you're doing an investigation. As a seasoned investigator, you would be able to check those and see those things. But it seems more like you did not do anything. You just went with the flow.
You know, I have a speculation.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I can share it.
That's very difficult to answer because I don't know it.
It's with regard to this whole Ntanzi situation, the way it seems to most of us, it seems like he's severely being punished. You know, he's severely being punished for something that we don't know about. That's the impression that I'm getting.
Yes.
That, okay, they found him at his weakness. He was obviously clueless about the legal process or what the police. He trusted the police. Let me just say that.
I don't think he trusted the police.
What do you think happened?
What I think happened is, in my feeling, how I'm looking at these things unfold, there might have been a conviction that happened, or Emily, such as maybe, hey, this is my what you call
deal.
This is my theory. I'm not saying it's what happened. So maybe there was an agreement. Take this fall on the sword. You take 2 years, you come out, you get money, maybe. Because I've heard of the story of the money, right?
Yeah, the family.
It does feel like this. There was a turnaround that happened that made someone say, "I'll punish you. I'll show you." It does seem like that. You cannot run away from that. It feels like someone said, "Yeah, we agree." I had the same feeling about accused number 5. I still have that feeling that maybe at some point, but there was a turnaround, maybe. We are not saying that is what happened, but it feels like, yeah, we're going to show you, that. Laura, thank you very much for gifting 5 people towards this Lutuli. Almost said lang. Towards this Lutuli is part of that. Maruping is part of that. Nomo Sam Ndluli is part of that. No Pasika is part of that. Thank you very much for that. So as Ansi Moy is part of that. And again, Pedro, thank you very much for your gift. Guys, you are blessing us today. I'm not going to say much, but thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you. May you be increased.
Apella YouTube doesn't like us these days.
We're not fans. Don't say that, I'm still here.
So the same question could have been asked of him. He said whether he asked him if he had already told Mokhani what he's telling him, which he didn't. Is that not so? When Gininda said absolutely, it was for the very first time that I heard a one-word answer coming from him. Wow. Let's clap hands. That was refreshing.
It was refreshing.
Nisi then said that this point does not take us anywhere. It does not take him, Gininda, anywhere. Gininda said he differs. It does take them somewhere. He said that council is looking at an isolated discussion. I was like, this
not
is
collaborating. Dan, thank you very much on behalf of Papama.
I was like, I spoke to, so this does not look like, he said he does not, he does not do the collaborating it with the events that took place afterwards. That is what he was saying when he said collaboration. So take the fact that the date was given by me. You then subsequently follow the events that followed that led to the confession of Colonel Rapadua and the magistrate. When you follow that, it does create an impression as to why this person knew about this date. You can't take it in isolation because it does
He's
not
still
end
justifying
on the date.
after hearing that there was a prior conversation that happened that could have jogged the memory of this person. That's how difficult this man is. To even concede on something that has no merit.
He went on and on and on on. But summary of what he was saying basically is that the events that followed, like the confession where he implicated himself, clearly supported why he would have known about this date. Now, does that not really help him, because the accused denied making those confessions and he denied that it was him on the identity kit, but he still went on and said, it is you. So I
but
don't
what
know
do you
what to
expect
believe
from someone
anymore.
who relies on 2% of DNA?
Nisi wanted clarity on the time that they said to be knocking off. The judge said that they would discuss it at tea time, and he continued with his cross-examination. He said the first discussion that you had with the accused 2 in Western area before you could verify his alibi, and the second discussion that you had with him after coming out of the offices where you verified his alibi, could that be regarded as an interview with him? And Gininda said that the question was subdivided. He said it had 2 parts.
That's when he wants to give you the summon.
The alibi and the interview. He said that the alibi was not verified, it was false. Then if that was the case, my question is, the first reason for you to even go look for that alibi, where did it come from, since you are denying all of that conversation happened between Mokhani and accused number 2? And he said that it was an interview. Mnisi asked him about the first instance before he could get into the office to go verify his alibi. He asked him, what would you call that? And Gininda said that it is official, and he went on about how he introduced himself and read the accused his rights and warning him of Section 35 when you arrest a person. Hey, iphelile trial within a trial. It's on record, all of these things that you're repeating about reading him his rights, wara. Move on. I was so frustrated at this point. I'm like, the trial within a trial is done. Like, I don't understand why you have to include this when you're not being asked about it. And he said that Gininda said that he will take it to the extent that from the time he arrived up until he left with accused 2 was official. There was no other business that they had except for official engagement. Nisi asked him, as a wall or a well-decorated senior police officer in the CPS, you were very aware that which you call an official engagement with accused 2 had to be done in terms of the law. And Gininda said yes, and it was done in terms of the law. Nisi then asked him what was his choice with regards to his legal representation, and Gininda said he did not express a need to get a legal representation. And when he asked him about the identity kit, he said it was a case of mistaken identity. How can someone who denies that is them on an identity kit refuse to have assistance with a lawyer? Make it make sense for me. I don't understand. They did not request a lawyer. That means
you know what is fun about this thing. They are saying, they keep on going to that deal of a mistaken identity. Yes, the accused said it was a mistaken identity. Subsequently to that, this man goes and confess. What made him confess?
What made him confess? Because he said
what made him
me.
confess?
That's not me on that identity kit. And he had every right to deny that it's not him because it doesn't look like him. Not even close.
I feel that direction was not traversed enough by a trial within a trial. Even now, they can still go to that because it was never, it is what, partially accepted?
They are partially accepted. They still need to be proven, which is why Brigadier Gininda keeps bringing them up all the time. Yes, they still need to be proven with the evidence that is being given in the entire trial. There needs to be supporting evidence.
Yes.
To their confessions. So they shouldn't shy away from them, the defense, in my opinion. They should challenge them as well. And even this identity kit situation, how do you move from someone denying that is them on the identity kit to them confessing? That process right there, it needs more elaboration.
To show that there is a flop in this thing, it's a flop. When they confess, they then accept that it's them on the picture, on that sketch.
That was not traversed.
It was not traversed.
So Mnisi said if you explained his rights, what was his right with regard to legal representation? And Gininda said there was still no view. There was no desire or wish by the accused for legal representation. And when they dealt with the identity kit, he said it's a question of mistaken identity. There was no need for that. He said he's willing to speak to him openly and freely. Nisi asked him, you had explained all these rights regarding legal representation. You gave him all the options and choices. He understood them, and then he decided to waive his rights to legal representation and said, no, I don't want a private attorney. I don't want an attorney of my own. I don't want a legal representative. And I can be represented with, or I cannot be represented by the state. I'm prepared to continue speaking for myself. I'm understanding you correctly. Gininda said, you are understanding me correctly. Nisi said, you will agree with me that South Africa is a constitutional democratic country. It's the constitution up there, and then there are these little legislations which should tie up with the constitution. Those legislations, there are the directives, there are ordinances, policies, etc., which must comply with the constitution. Is that not so? And Gininda said, yes, that's correct. Nisi said, do you understand that a brigadier is a commissioner or a commission officer and also holds the rank of being a peace officer? Gininda said he doesn't understand. Nisi said a peace officer is someone who's equivalent to a magistrate, and Gininda corrected him to say that his understanding is that a justice of the peace is the one who's equivalent to a magistrate. And Nisi then corrected himself to say he meant the justice of the peace, not a peace officer, because even a traffic cop can be a peace officer.
Yeah.
Nisi referred Brigadier Gininda to Exhibit XX, a statement regarding an interview with a suspect.
Yeah, guys, let's just pause here and let's push to 400 likes. We are on 377. Let's push to 400 likes. Let's do the right thing. Those who are not subscribers, please, if you feel that you need to subscribe. Yes. Binge watching us is not a problem, but please like the video then. If you don't like the video, then comment. Just do something. But for Zanzi Night Riders, Morning Gang, press that like button like you mean it. Push it as far as you can so that we can push the algorithm to a right direction. So I'm going to wait for you up until we reach 400, and then we continue after that. Mind you, there's still going to be calls, right? So if we can do this quickly and finish so that also you press that like button as fast as you can so that we can take these calls and hear what people have to say. We always allow people to talk here. Push, we're at 385 now. Let's push more for 400. Mtozi Langa is saying that push for 400 likes, which is now 387. Those who have forgotten to like, press that like button like you mean it. Press that like button, subscribe, become a member, anything. Renew if you forgot to renew. You are here, we are here. Let us push the like button. For now, the aim is 400. We'll move on to another target, but for now, let us just push to 400. Please push. We're 389 now. Push it to 400, guys. Please, I don't like these breaks. Just push it. As you push it, we are pushing also the side. Yeah, let's continue, Amen.
Well, yeah, this now was a statement. It was a sample of a warning statement that Mnisi presented it as Exhibit XX. And Mnisi asked Gininda to read the first paragraph where Gininda read out the way it said that a warning statement must be filled every time a suspect is interviewed. He also read where he said that the form must be filled in whether the suspect is arrested or not. Gininda said that he was not done answering, but he held on to the first sentence of that paragraph where He said you cannot ignore that subsection.
He was
A
trying
of
to be
point
smart.
number 1.
And I know many people thought that was smart. He was dealing with me. So I felt many people were saying that. But that's a very same statement that is signed by anyone who's arrested.
Yes.
It's a standing order.
Yes.
One may look at it like that.
Yes.
But he was trying to find a way around this.
He said that the station commander must consult with the prosecutor on circumstances which the prosecutor requires that a warning statement of a suspect be obtained. A warning statement can either be obtained when someone is arrested, or a directive can come from a prosecutor to say, before we make a decision, go and obtain a warning statement. So this directive is very clear. You cannot ignore Section A, which says there must be a consultation. It's a different view when police are conducting their own investigation, stopping a person and giving a person their right, and then this follows. There is no time to consult with the prosecutor, so this does not apply. He says that in this regard, he did not have an instruction from the prosecutors, so it does not apply to him, completely misinterpreting what it meant. I am not a police officer, nor am I a lawyer, but what he had read initially in that paragraph A did not say this. How can you not issue warning statements when you arrest people?
There is no way you can do that.
What is this mess that I'm hearing coming from Brigadier Gininda's mouth to my ears?
The smartest man is doing what he does best.
So it's kind of like he's making up his own rules as he goes along. That's my opinion. Unfortunately, I have to come to that
song that
conclusion.
says power belongs to Jesus.
And
power belongs to Jesus. I guess this is the case. Well, sometimes if you have more power, you tend to ignore regulations. But that's my opinion. Too much power can actually be your own downfall also. That's what I can say insofar as the power is concerned.
And Mnisi said that what you just said now is an exception to what the law says. When he mentioned this, I remember Mokhani's testimony when he was specific of these exceptional circumstances. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, I do remember. It was why he would run like a young kid to fetch a gun for someone who should have brought a gun, and those are exceptional situations.
Well, Gininda said no, that is not what he's saying. The prosecutor is the one who gives instructions to say, go and give a warning statement. Indeed, it must be a document. He said it's a different story when he was interacting with accused too. There were no directives from Advocate Baloyi, so what he's saying does not apply in circumstances like that. He's literally changing the rules, you guys. He's literally making up his own. The judge came in trying to, I don't know, rescue him or what.
Oh, yes, said, it's a rescue. Did they sign? Is there any? We said, is there any of this?
This part, he was asking him if, he said he doesn't know what they're talking about, and he asked him, what is this document? As if he was giving him a clue. What is this document? And then Brigadier Gininda said that it's a warning statement, my lord.
You know what he's trying to say? He's saying, without saying it, he's saying, as long as it's there. How it was obtained, it's there. That's what the judge was saying. This is a warning statement, right? Yes, thank you.
And then Nisi then asked him to read where it says the form must be completed every time a suspect is questioned, irrespective of whether the suspect is in detention after an arrest or not. Where any space provided on the form is insufficient, continue on a folio and attach the folio to that page. He said folios must be signed by the suspect, interpreter, deponent, and commissioner of oaths. Nisi continued to read that this form must be complete every time a suspect is questioned, irrespective irrespective of whether the suspect is in detention after an arrest or not. And Gininda said that's correct, but he needs to explain. He said, I need to qualify this portion that Advocate Mnisi is making me read in page 3, starting from the beginning. He hammered on that fact that he did not have instructions from the prosecutor, so it did not apply to him. He said that it happens all the time. Police arrive at a scene of a murder and arrest all suspects. There is no time to be filling in warning statements. But the law says what the law says, eh? And he said it's a different situation, but to what he did with accused 2, and he said that he repeated himself for the 3rd time, saying for him there were no such directives. Mnisi said, do you agree with this document that it was designed for the police to be used by the police and not for the National Prosecuting Authority of South Africa? Gininda said it was designed as a guideline. Heba tumba mudimu. He said, I think we dealt with this part during a trial. Within a trial, there are many warning statement forms. I'm like, hey, batung, bamudim. So now there are many warning statements. He said others are not like that. Others do not have what it is contained in there. It's simply a guideline. I'm like, what is going on?
In that court, a lot is going on.
Mnisi also hammered on the fact that that form must be filled whether the suspect is in custody or not. That is the law, unless if Brigadier Gininda is creating his own little law, in his own little corner there. But this is South African law as it is contained in this form. And Baloyi stood to object, defending that the instruction must be given by the prosecutor, calling it an operative part. The first sentence that says there must be consultation between the station commissioner and the prosecutor. Whatever follows must read subject to the operative part. I'm like, even the prosecutor.
It's tough.
I mean, the prosecutor is defending this thing.
It's tough.
Then the judge said, yeah, and said Mnisi can continue. And Baloyi and Gininda really here, they were playing some serious tricks like I've never seen before. I think they think we are all dumb or I don't understand. Like they think maybe we are, Mnisi said, would you agree with me that there are cases where the intervention of the prosecutor would not be necessary and the police must just investigate that case from the beginning until end on its own and table it before a prosecutor? Well, Gininda said yes, but under the guidance of a supervisor who will guide the relevant member. But the ultimate decision maker here is the NPA, and they may be of the view that we are not happy with what you have, go and seek 1, 2, 3 and further, which has happened in this matter. But at the end of the day, they are the final arbiter. So you will never get to court without sitting with the NPA. I'm seriously side-eyeing the prosecutors who approved this case and said it was ready for trial.
Yeah, side-eyeing Bobaloyi.
I'm side-eyeing them. I don't want to lie. Gianjaja, there's no way, guys. No, there's no way. Mnisi said that will be an instance where the police started with the investigation and they have made the arrest and have brought the accused before court. He has already appeared at court. The prosecutor enrolls the case at court. He goes through interim and realizes that they still need to get this information as part of the investigation. Gininda said that it is not the only instance, even if the matter gets enrolled. Mnisi told him to focus on this instance and even repeated it to him. And then Gininda said that in that example you are giving me, yes, that's how the prosecutor will give instructions. Mnisi asked if he used that exhibit of the warning statement. He even lifted it up to show it to him. And when he had an interview with the suspect, then Gininda said no and still wanted to explain further. Mnisi repeated the question yet again. Gininda said, I can hear Mr. Mnisi very loud and clear without raising his voice. Now he was trying to
attack the man.
Then he went on and on about giving a broad example and wanted to answer it broadly. He then said that before the person appears, a warning statement would have been completed. Meaning that he completes warning statements before court appearances and not when he's interviewing suspects. That's what I got from his answer. And he said that the person has appeared at a court, then there's further instruction to take a warning statement. It's an unusual practice that him as a policeman that he has heard, completely changing the context that Nisi asked the question in him, because he was asking about the warning statements being filled before a court appearance, and Brigadier Gininda made it about after. It was so strange. Nisi asked if the warning statements before he goes and greets the magistrates, are they using this document, lifting it and showing it to him? Gininda said no, there are no prescribed forms in the warning statement. There's no specific one, they're different ones. So our South African police officers have time to deal with different types of warning statements.
We make the law as we go.
No, he was literally arguing, he as if that's what police officers normally do, and what they normally do supersedes what the law says should be done. That's what literally was happening there. And he said that if it is going to be necessary, he's going to request the court to call General Fani Masemola to come and explain what Gininda has told the court, or the national spokesperson of the SAPS, Atlenda Mate, to come and explain. The judge was laughing, and he said, before you call General Masemola in this case, was there a warning statement that was taken of all the accused before court? Gininda said, yes, accused 1 to 5. The judge said, is it similar to that? Gininda now says, yes, it's similar to this. Funny how he told Nisi that it was not similar. Then the judge got up quickly and said, tea time. And I'm like, okay, all right. Too late. The ship has already sank. But he was trying to help him correct it, honestly speaking. So after the short adjournment, Advocate Nisi said that they had a discussion on today's early adjournment. It followed a request by the court interpreter that the matter adjourn at 1 o'clock because he's traveling to Venda for a funeral. So the judge said that sits at the next door court. Apparently it's Judge Njerere. Yeah, he had lost his father, and the court staff, including some judges and interpreters, will be attending the funeral tomorrow. That is today. Judge Mokwatleng said that it was 6 hours drive away, and they came to that conclusion that, yeah. But then Advocate Nisi resumed on the issue of the warning statement, and Gininda said that this is not only from the SAP or a form that the SAPS uses. There are various forms that are used. That the judge was helping him before the adjournment, and he comes and undo. Gininda said that he will find those forms and present them to the court. And Mnisi said that he does not want that indulgence. He doesn't want to see those forms. He said that there are different forms to Gininda. Others are shorter, others are longer. There are different types of warning statements in his world. And Mnisi said, why was he not made to appear at court immediately after a confession was taken from Ms. Grunier on the 22nd of June 2020 in respect of this matter with regards to accused number 2? And Gininda said that on the 23rd of June, there was an interaction with an attorney subsequent to the discussion, and arrangements gave rise to a confession that took place based on the discussion. The first time he laid his eyes on the confession of accused 2 was that of Kanerapadu and Ms. Grunier. It was the first time that he had sight of accused 3, 4, and 5, and it was alleged that they were a part of this. He went on and saying that they are not complete. Even after the confession, collaborations needed to be done. He went on and on and on. Here he actually forgot that there was another statement from 2016 or 20 whatever while Senzo Meyiwa was still alive, and it implicated accused number 4. He even said Senzo Meyiwa is the one who implicated accused number 4.
Yes.
He forgot about it totally. Habari lies have short legs.
They do.
Nisi asked them to confide themselves to accused number 2 and that he had not asked about accused number 1, and yet he's still coming to accused number 1. The judge interfered at this point and said, don't stop the witness from testifying, giving him that opportunity to impose hearsay evidence again. Nisi said that no, he wants answers in relation to accused number 2. Gininda now said that it was unfair in terms of what he wants to tell the court because his answers must be confined to fit the narrative he wants to bring to this court. He said that he's showing objectivity. He was saying that accusing Nisi of creating the narrative. He wants to show objectivity when he's mentioning the other accused. It's as if there was a special arrangement with accused number 2 and that's not what he wanted. Totally deflecting. He's deflecting.
Press that like button like you mean it. Thank you very much in advance as you do so. Go Pila.
Now, he said that he was not investigating accused number 2 in isolation. It's not like he said, let me investigate accused number 2 only. He went on and on, calling it a collective investigation. Gininda said that he had been cautioned by the prosecution that the discussions between Giako and accused number 2 with the state were not finalized. So he should not venture into that. And he said he was not putting his words, so he should not prejudice the accused. He went in further to say that there were discussions that were leading to 105, and that is how the confession of the 24th of June came to be. The discussions, and after discussion, certain things were put into motion. Now, Gininda was talking about the plea bargain that Nazi allegedly had with them and this Mjiako. Now, this is a new information, okay? And on top of it being new information, for me, in my perspective, it kind of makes sense why that recording of Ntanzi could not be played in court. Because if there were such arrangements, and what if Ntanzi agreed to say certain things that implicated him under the guise of he's making a bargain, or something like that. So now I understand why that confession had to be blocked, in my opinion. So accused number 2 raised his hand and Ramosipili went to him. Unisa said that not Eunice, Nisa. Nisi said that he was not part of the discussion for the plea bargain, and he said that there was a lawyer who said that they are representing accused too and gave permission for him to consult regardless of the pandemic. Remember, 2020 it was the pandemic, not too much movements, And Nisi asked him if he was a part of the discussions, and he said he did not want to answer yes or no. Nisi even referred to his answer as a sermon, because it was a lot. Baloi said that Gininda was trying to give a comprehensive explanation. Nisi said that he was trying to respect Gininda and he does not want that comprehensive explanation. It's a simple yes or no question and answer. And the judge asked how they can speak at the same time. He was now comparing their back and forth to being in a tavern again. And he says, if your colleague is on the floor, you don't interrupt him. You raise your hand and you want the follow-up. Like they're in school. So he wanted Baloi to finish.
Believe in you, me, this law, these such things as that, they were made during those times where inferiority.
He must raise his hand after Baloi is done talking and objecting to his cross-examination. He must raise his hand. Oh my goodness. Then Nisi said that he's shocked. Gininda has been to a number of courts as a witness. Well, Gininda eventually did answer that question, that he was not a part of the discussions with Mjiako, but there was a time when he was involved. And Nisi said...
So he was a part.
Yeah.
That is the right answer.
Yes, it's a yes in simple terms. Yes. We didn't need to go around this hullabaloo, round and round. No. Then Nisi said, would I know how Mjiako knew about accused number 2's incarceration? Gininda said, no, I didn't know, and I would not inquire. Nisi then consulted with Ramasipili and asked for the court to adjourn. It was getting hotter in the kitchen. He didn't want to venture into this Mjiako story. And he wanted an adjournment, but the judge refused because of that critic. Now they are being used in the court. So he said no, they have to wait until 1 o'clock. Now Mnisi shifted the focus to Mjiako, and he asked Gininda if he knew Mjiako. And Gininda started off by saying that the question was previously asked by Advocate Mshololo, and he indicated that he doesn't know him. Advocate Mshololo asked the question in the trial within a trial, and he said he's never worked with him, even when he worked in the police, because he's hearing from public knowledge that he was a CI in the police. He says he doesn't know him. It's the honest truth. Nisi then says, so you are saying you don't know how Mr. Mjiako came to know about accused number 2's incarceration? Gininda said no. Nisi said, what you are saying is that you met him for the first time on the 23rd of June 2020, and Gininda said, yes, we had never came across each other. Gininda said that the fact that you are incarcerated does not mean you have no right to communicate. You ask the other police officers who do random visits and would ask them if they need to make a phone call to their next of kin. He said that there are police who come and check the cells. He confirmed that the communication is restricted though, and Mnisi said that he wanted to polish certain points with accused number 2 before they're taken back to custody. So he wanted to ask for that little time that was left so they can do that with Ramasipil and accused number 2. And that's how court adjourned. It will resume next week, Tuesday, because Brigadier Gininda will be writing on Monday. And obviously he asked for a day, Friday, as a day off so he can prepare for his exam, and it's the final paper, so from now on he will be sitting there until he's done.
Good. Right, I just want to start with my members here. Thank you guys. Just gonna mention the members that are keeping the lights here. Okay. It's Papama, Busani, Sibanda, Boitumelo, Muruping, Homoto, Nomusa Mluli, Dan, Togozi Lutuli, and CK Moyo. SD Kudunkomo, No Pasika, Komojo, Masirami, Bonga, Sosibo, Malisela, Madota, Manana, Mancho, Gloria Bega, Mzwandile, Mbasi, Morocco, Zibusiso, Zibusiso, yeah. Alpha Mesh, Tabang, Babara, is that Babara? Babara? Barbara. Yeah,
it's
Barbara. Barbara Peters.
Yes. Barbara.
Sorry. Mina ngibambe kanjalo ngesitswana kanti sengiyabhetha.
Ngibambe ngesiZulu.
Barbara.
Hi Barbara. Thank you so much for joining the membership.
Zibusiso, Sithembile Sizwe 18 Lindiwe Zondo. Nomthandazo nolindiwe zonke ngathi ngiyamathi. Nomthandazo Grace Swain Bongi Lake Olivia J Tiani Calvin Zodwa Dlamini Sanele Mnisi Ntsiki Cassandra Kamgu, and then obvious Net, because Net is not here on the membership, but Net is doing what members are doing, so I'm gonna include Net here.
Net,
yeah.
She's included. She's our number
because
one.
I've called your name, members, it makes my life easier now when I call others, because I don't have to call members, right? No, nah.
No, you should
Tivelo.
call them.
Eh,
Not all of them are live now, so you must call them.
Hey, Ibile, we are right. I stopped early. There's Gaby, there's Lucky, there's Malusi, there's Nkosinathi, there's Tembegile, Mamlao, Maria Gambi, and we have a caller. Let me connect you, caller, so that we hear you. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
We couldn't have been better than this. We are good.
Today,
How are you?
yes, today I guess I'm very emotional. Just looking at the chat and just seeing the generosity of people just giving to the channel. There's no words to explain how I'm feeling about what I just saw today.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to just say thank you to everybody who, is just giving, who just gave so much today. We really appreciate you guys. And for the people who are just watching and just giving their likes as well and just commenting and just keeping us awake and just keeping the chat going.
Yeah.
You are also appreciated. We really, 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 really appreciate you.
Yes.
There was a comment, somebody made a comment there on one of the videos and said whether I am a co-founder of this channel or not. I don't know whether that was sarcasm or not, but at the end of the day, so what if I am a co-founder, if I'm not?
So
that's
what?
irrelevant,
Yes.
People, so I don't really give a toss about what anybody else thinks, because some of these people who are making comments on the comment section, they don't even contribute nothing to this channel. And they just come on there and just mouth off and just be disrespectful. Okay. At the end of the day, we know that some of us understand that what we are facing. Okay, I'm not going to mention what it is, but the world is changing. Things are different. The atmosphere is different. Even when you walk on the streets, the things that we're seeing, the world is changing. We know that we are going up a very steep hill. It's hard. It's difficult. Okay.
Yes.
So channels like this are not here just for fun and for shit and giggles. Okay. This is serious stuff. This and people think this us coming here every night and just talking about this Senzo Meyiwa case is just about Senzo Meyiwa. This is not Senzo Meyiwa's case only. This is not about Senzo Meyiwa only. This is about all of us, the average citizens, okay?
Yeah.
Because some of us are not millionaires and we don't have connections in high places and stuff like that.
Yes.
We are up against a very big monster, a big enemy, okay?
Yes.
And we come here to discuss this case because the outcome of this case will determine a lot of things about the future of some of us.
Yes.
Okay, because the direction that this case is taken right now, and the outcome of this case will determine how our lives are going to be and how we are going to live our lives going forward. Okay, because it means that we are up against a system that is bigger than anything. So as people clap their hands and celebrate and accuse these guys who are on trial and say stuff, they need to remember that this is not about whether you're on the defense side or you're on the state side. This is about your future as well, because you're a citizen. You're not immune to whatever is happening to those people.
Yeah.
So this is what we are fighting against. So when we give and we do things and we to keep your guys' voices going on this channel, it's not because we're trying to prove something or that, hey, some of us are this, some of us are that. We understand the vision and we understand what you guys are trying to do. So that's just all I want to say, just to get that out of the way.
Yes.
And then now, to get back, now getting back on the case.
Yes.
Mr. Anu, the other day I was saying to you that I packed my bags and I've left the train station. I think, I don't know where you are, but I think I got my Samsonite and now we are riding an Airbus. You understand?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think
Yes.
I was sitting in first class.
Yes.
Captain Nisi was flying this Airbus on high altitude at high speeds over 990 kilometers per hour, baby. I was chilling. I was in my first class, sipping my wine and having my sushi and everything. You understand?
Yes.
This guy was he was chilling and he was driving this thing. You understand?
Cruising nicely.
He was cruising, my baby. Yes, he was cruising nicely. And you know, when he started with the laugh, I knew that, you know what? The turbulence is going to be big, baby. Hang on tight, you know? And, you know, this guy, I don't know, you know, if you are a parent, you would observe that how only the kitten inside the house. Sometimes babies like to run around behind the curtain and wrap themselves around the curtain like that. I don't know what the English word is, but a baby would spin themselves around with the curtain like that, right?
Yes.
And then they get stuck, and then they need you to detangle them and get them out of there.
Yes.
You know, Gininda is like that baby. When he starts opening his mouth, it's like and he's just he's entangling himself with the wool around himself. You know, when he asks him a simple question, instead of just saying yes or no, you are asked one question and you say, you know, you are expected to give a 50-word response. 50. And now he wants to go on Ukwala TCC 15,000 words.
Yes.
And then I'm thinking to myself, well, if he's an LLB candidate, when he's asked the question, does he answer the question, or he just goes off and then you know what I mean? Yeah, and then you ask him, when you walked into the store, did you purchase a pink T-shirt? No. Yes, you know, I walked into the store and then I saw the security guard standing there on the right side. I walked through, I spoke to the clerk, and then the clerk directed me to that black T-shirt. And insofar as you know, subsequent to that, I then turned left and then I saw the pink shirt. And, you know, for practicality reasons, I then walked to the checkout and I used my credit card. Do you know what I mean? Even when he's asked about things, there's no procedure for South Africa. You know, there's no procedure. Practicality. For practicality, there's no procedure, there's no process. It's just you just do whatever for practicality. For practicality, my lord.
Yes.
So when you get arrested in South Africa, you don't get your Miranda rights, or you're under arrest. You know, you've got the right to attorney. You've got the right to remain silent. They call and so phone a prosecutor and then they say to the prosecutor, should I read him the warning statement? Is that how things happen in South Africa? Is that how they do things, Batu? I'm just so. You know, Emily, you know what? I think this case, okay, we are dissecting it every day, and you guys are really doing a good job, and thank you for that. But you know what frustrates me more about this case? Keep people who are asleep. But people who are asleep and, you know, they're calling you names, they're criticizing you and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know, there's an African-American guy who once said, you know, the thing about Black people is that when you are fighting for them, do you know what I mean? When you are fighting for them, you are fighting for them with one hand. But then with one hand, you are protecting yourself from them.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, you also have to protect yourself against them, because as you are fighting for them, they are fighting you.
Yes.
And this is exactly what is going on.
It happens.
And this is what I'm observing. You understand?
Yes.
But I just don't want you guys to be distracted by this nonsense that's happening. Look at the sideshow. Okay, just focus on the vision. Do what you need to do, because some of us, we understand what we are up against. Let me and others take care of the sideshows. Okay, you focus on the vision and we'll take care of the sideshows. You know what I mean? Let them call us names and do whatever and bury the co-founder and everything and whatnot. Yeah, so what if we are co-founders? So what? They're really the co-founder. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Tired.
So yeah, so hopefully next week when they come back, Munisi will keep giving us more things, you know. Marene, I think he's just got only imposter syndrome, I think. Suffer imposter syndrome. It's not that he's not good. I think he's very good, but I think you know, he imposter syndrome. But he's growing, he will be okay. You know, he will be okay. Yeah, so I love you guys, and you know, I'm here, I'm supporting you, and I love all the viewers, both CD, both Seizure 18. You know, guys, I see you, we see you, you know, we see the work that you're doing on the channel.
Thank you.
Yeah, we see you. Yeah,
thank you so much.
You. Yeah, I love you guys.
We love
Thank
you
you,
more.
love you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Right. That's it. That's it, guys. The calls are open. Officially, the co-founder has said that.
The co-founder has opened for the calls
guys,
to take place.
Someone was saying during the day, he asked the question of why wouldn't Danzi, something to that line, why wouldn't Danzi forget 26 because of the big thing that happened? Yeah, something like that. And I asked that person, do you remember when Gifted Redeem passed away? What were you wearing? And I'm not saying this because I don't respect it, but I'm trying to show Mzansi, hello. That
hello.
Yes, how are you, sir?
Hello.
Unjani mfethu sikhona siyakuzwa.
Unjani?
Siyakhona mfethu siyakuzwa unjani wena?
Ngiyaphila nami.
Yeah.
No. Ngilalele nami lapha kwishow yenu bafethu esinika nje iclarity ngaleli qala.
Yeah.
Ngizwe kakhulu bafethu. Ngifona ngisekeze ke mina.
Yeah.
Ngike ngalalela nami nje iqala emini ngashekiswa ukuthi ijaji lihlezi lithi i-English layenza kakhulu liyazi kakhulu English, but namhlanje ngicabanga ukuthi bese lihluleka ukuthi ku-English content kuthiwa i-close question and open question. Uvumela uGininda uma ukuthi i-close question fanele narrate story niphendule kube i-story sithi kodwa kube kwi-close question. So ngiyaxakeka ukuthi kanti ukuthi ngoba phela uthi English ayazi wafunda apho ukuthi umuntu uma uyi-close question fanele uphendule lonto ukuthi yes or no, kube ukuthi uchaza i-story sonke nje.
Yeah.
Ngiyangizwa ngoba uhlezi English uyayazi wayenza about four subjects about English. Bese ngoxaka nje ukuthi ehlulwe ukwenza into elula mayithi umuntu question ithi yes or no umuntu esondele.
Yeah.
Bese kuba lokhu engifuna ukwazi ukuthi njengoba bathi bona baya lapha la kusebenza khona uNtanzi.
Yeah.
Investigator ukuthi ngeqala lakhe la kaNongoma. Yiphi reason yayibayisa khona ngeqala la kaNongoma ngoba phela akuveli ukuthi babe investigator ngeqala la kaNongoma. Manje ukuthi kwavela sekuvela ukuthi kukhulunywe ngaleli icala likaSenzo kodwa lokho ukuthi kuyoyenza investigation akaNongoma kuveli. Kuyaxaka ukuthi why kungavela ngazi kodwa kukhulunywa ngecala lakaNongoma at the same time bese kuba necala likaSenzo endaweni eyi-1 ukuthi babe investigator ngecala lakaNongoma kuveli but kuvela ukuthi kwagcina sekukhulunywa ngecala likaSenzo.
Yeah.
Iyathusa leyo.
Yeah.
Bese kuba lokho ukuthi ikhona u-advocate engike ngambuka lapha kuma podcast ethi usiza abantu baka Meyiwa ngaleli cala. Ufake iletter ku-Minister of Justice. Le letter iletter yakhe ukuthi i-public ngoba uyifundile wayisho nje wayichaza ukuthi ingani iletter yakhe ku-concern yakho ukuthi kufanele ubuye icala fanele lime lelizele lise court njengamanje ngoba kunelinye docket elu-375 why icala liqhubeke ekubeni kunedocket elikhona elu-375. So angazi noma nimbone lo advocate leyo ngoba la i-podcast yakhe ithi i-daily fix. Khuluma ngalokho wayeseveza ukuthi ube waqhumana no investigator wecala likaSenzo owayekhona kwenzeka investigation yokuqala kodwa ke sewa retire. Kunemshini amagama abantu wanami ngiwakhohliwe ade washo ngamagama abo engenankinga but uthi ngiya understand ukuthi ngempela kahle yini lapha ecaleni besifihla lento yokuthi benqaba ukuthi le statement sakangqashi sibe court njengalesi nje sikalo makaleni abalokhu beqhubeka bekhuluma ngayo ngoba washo makaleni ukuthi ngqashe yena khulunywa kancane ngayo uthi lo investigator akomtshenile ungqashe uyazi ukuthi there was no one obisibhamu wasizwa. There was no one owangena kule yanzo. Yes, so ngase ngabuka ukuthi bafihla lokho ukuthi kungaveli kuleso statement ukuthi ngisho wabhala statement ukuthi there was no one owangena kule yanzo.
Kushuthi phela manje seso-speculate phela manje masekunjalo phela kushuthi abantu bayahamba nje abantu abafuna ukukhuluma into right ke kushuthi.
Yes, baba sisi benzela ukuthi le statement salomuntu singavele in court. Hayi angibonge nami bengifika nje lifika nami sengithe ukuthola ngiyabonga futhi nike right.
Siyabonga. Well, all is alleged here. The views of the callers.
But for those who may be curious,
just a recap, yes.
That there is a lawyer who said that they met with the investigating officer, the initial the former one who's currently retired now, and he said that the docket that should be the one that is investigated first or taken to trial first is 375 and not this one. And he also said that Ngachi's statement says that there was no one who entered the house. The gunshots came from the house and there's no one who entered the house. Perhaps that's why it's getting suppressed, allegedly.
Mzansi, hello. Okay, you dropped.
Please call again if you can.
Yes. They've solved this case, would have solved this case long time ago, not collaborating. They would have, these people, no one entered that house. Mzansi, hello.
Good morning, guys.
Morning. How are you?
Morning, how are you?
We are good. How are you?
I'm fine. I want to touch Mr. Nimas on the issue that you said. I think it was 2 weeks back.
Yeah.
Where you said there's a change in the court and Longo might be arrested. Yeah. Because I've been meaning to come in since that time and I've been falling asleep.
Yeah.
But I don't think Longo will be arrested. I think Ramaphosa stands a better chance of being arrested for Phala than Longwe for this case. I think this thing of a photo of money found in Longwe's phone is just to throw us off. And rubber stamp something that doesn't have rubber stamp. I don't think I deserve.
Oh, there you go. You disagree. And then they cut you off, but you're still on this side. I can see you're muted. I think you're muted. It says muted here. Right.
Please unmute. Unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, now we can hear you. You're muted.
Yeah. Secondly, the reason why the J50 against Kelly Khumalo was never executed is that the state has no evidence at all against Kelly Khumalo. It has nothing against Kelly Khumalo. Number one, if they say Kelly Khumalo paid those guys, where did Kelly Khumalo get the money from? Where is proof that Kelly Kumar had 100,000? I don't think she had 100,000 in her account in 2014. Senzo Meyiwa was her main source of income. Number two, if she paid the guys, how did she pay the guys? If indeed the fault of the money in her phone was the money that she wanted to pay the guys, how did the money get from her to the guys? Number three, they can't place her with accused number 5, giving him the money. They can place her with accused number 3, giving him the money. They can place her in the hostel. They can do that. Okay. So they're trying to throw us off by saying she was working with these people, she was working with those people. But then remember, she's untouchable. She must not be called by the defense. She must be called by the defense. The defense must call her. Because what is most important here is the link or the relationship that she has with the 5 guys. Her bank records for 2014. That question must be asked: where did she get 100,000 to give to those people? Because the initial story was that Kelly owed Chico money. Hence, when Longwe shot Senzo, it was, "You owe me money, shut up."
Is that alleged or is that
Allegedly?
It is alleged, allegedly. Number two, you remember, Mr. Anonymous, that Kelly at the time was the only person who was working in that family. Zandi was not working, the mom was not working. Where did Zandi Kelly get money to pay those people? Because we always assume that because of a person is a celebrity, they have money. No, that one didn't have money in 2014. Didn't have that kind of money. Number three, what benefit did she get from Senzo dying? Did she have an insurance policy with Senzo's name? People are saying that Kelly must not be called. It's a threat. Kelly must be called.
What do you think is going to happen?
Number one, for the defense, they need to question her if she knows the guys. It's very important that she must say she doesn't know those people. I don't see Baloyi asking her, "Do you know these people?" I don't see. Number two, it seems like there's another relationship between her and Gininda that went on. There's a situation that went on with her and Gininda. But I don't see Baloyi asking her, "Do you know these guys?"
Well,
I don't see Baloyi asking her the relationship between him and the 5 guys, because the state has failed in that part to create a link. There's no link. There's no phone call. There's nothing. Longwa must be called. That Longwa door must be opened. Longo must be called in that court. Longo must be called. Yeah, Zungu's father I can say maybe he mustn't be called, but Longo must be called. Mapiri must be called. There's a neighbor who wrote a statement and said she saw Mapiri cleaning the house. That neighbor must be called if she's still alive.
No, we hear you. All is alleged, right?
All is alleged, but then in terms of Longwe, I don't see Longwe being arrested anytime soon. I don't believe that's Mr. Anonymous. But anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you. Someone is reasoning in a certain way and is right. I saw it too. This picture of a man is in a sense repressing, and I've mentioned it before. It looks like it is replacing hard evidence, the real evidence. So we are going to rely on that, man. But all that was said by the caller is the views of the caller, not of the channel. We don't share the same views. Caller said it. Caller owns it. With this side, we are just listening. And again, we are saying, because it came to this channel, all is alleged. All is alleged.
I can believe the allegation that Kelly did not have money. Remember, there was a friend in the documentary who said he borrowed her money. I think it was 1.5 or something like
Maybe
that.
it was because he had taken it all out. I'm just saying, it's not that I believe whatever is going on in that court.
The fact that, one would say that she was unwilling to let Senzo go. At the time, in my opinion, as I was reading the tabloids,
He said it was love in the messages. He was saying,
I felt that thing. You could say, Senzo's moneyed, okay? He's moneyed. That was my opinion at the time of what was going on, the way she was fighting so hard. And those SMSs also were very telling as well, that Garimo, it was her ticket, in my opinion.
hey, ban. Now we are escalator,
In my opinion, just an opinion. Now that I think about it.
It's your opinion and it's your
my
opinion.
opinion.
It stays there.
So now they have to prove that she actually had money. That's the first thing. They need to prove that she actually had money.
How are they going to do that?
I guess they want to prove that she was the mastermind. They need to prove that she actually had money.
It's not about proving that you had money. It's about proving the movement of money. That's the only thing you need to prove.
Then they need to prove that movement of money. A picture, I don't think it's enough.
Mzansi, hello.
Datano maselekaya.
Awa, zwile murena.
Retenda.
Hey.
Asemele.
Hi, lekai.
Rete na akina lu 2 cent ya ka le na nyanyana fela ne.
Yes.
Anya.
Datano no maso wa tsa bothata bo boholo monana South Africa re tletse botsotsi le bo madala le batho ba holo ke ditsotsi kaofela. Case na ke botsotsi fela ha ona case ke botsotsi e qalo fela ka bo all black ka botsotsi gore DPP ya Gauteng ke ditsotsi bo Gininda ke ditsotsi balo ke ditsotsi ene tsotsi golo monana ke rata mona mo lona ke tsotsi a holo obane a ka sheba hanze monana rata khala e bodo re case ena na mona ona case mo mara o feta o yelo re mona ke bona bothata mona case a yo 1 2 3 ai wa o lwantsha ai wana ke case mo wona le 37 wona le 37 wa lwana obane a lwana ke butsotsi ndata no mana wona rata o ke na o ko o ikentse tender ya hae he get paid for nothing every month. So motho ona o deserve fela di placard tse golo fela re lutoito ya mona na mo yena mo pay back the money. Simple as that. Obane wa tseba ona case mo mara because wa khola yena ke tender ya hae o etse ka ona le case yo butsotsi ke butsotsi fela bo mene wona wa ta pay back the money bo GP ke bona ke ditsotsi le bona gore ke botsotsi fela and ba share batho bana tender ya bona e ha ona o tsona o khola bo kae monthly ha ona o tsio ba e pata ntwe motho mo mfa tšhelete ngata motho mo khola bo ma 3 million ka kgwedi o ke ditsotsi batho ba thank you all okay thank you bye bye
Allegedly.
Thank you.
Everything is alleged.
Everything is alleged.
I don't need to translate that. Everything is alleged.
Everything is alleged, and the views are of the caller, not of the channel. We don't share that. All is alleged. You guys are fighting. And yeah, you guys are fighting. All is alleged. We don't share that. The views. We don't share anything. We are not part. Yes. Let me call people. Hlanjiwe Sibanda. Hello, Nilo. LHM. Net CD Anamu happy. You guys are laughing. Chukuana, Mrs. K. Then ngiyabala Sizwe 18 kwelakithi all is alleged. Thank you and thank you for your generous gift. Icon. Ben.
I think people have reached the point where they're tired. People are tired. I feel it in every phone call. People are tired of
all is alleged. I'm trying to remember the voice note of Ben. Is it Ben Hare? Yeah, Ben Hare. Think you'll correct me again if I'm wrong. It's not my. I've got a lot. I get a lot of voicemails, voice notes.
You know what scares me?
Busani Sibanda, yeah.
Okay, you can read the name.
Nkosi Mko, Mami Funeka, Case Busiso Ndlovu, Busani Sibanda. Yes, I must remind you that is not that. Is the Sibanda the other one? Nolukanyo Ngao, Mamelo Skunana, Colin Vavidal. Hey, my daughter. Hey, Shushu. I'm trying to Snentlanta Bengu, our moderator. We thank you. See you here. Thank you. Dokas Shabalala. Yabona manje sengijja ukuvala impela manje. Ngivala impela. Fikile fixing. Thank you very much. We see you. Hlanjiwe Sibanda. We see you. Let me see. I'm just trying by all means. Cecilia, we see you. Magamba, we see you. More Magamba, we see you. Let me see. Tirello M, our member, we see you. Hey, our member list is long. I thought I was done going through it and it was loading. So now I have to call people's name as I was going. But yeah, guys, thank you very much. If I didn't call your name, you know the drill, man. We thank you. We appreciate you. All is good. All is in God's hands. And all is alleged.
Everything is alleged.
And the views of the callers are of the callers, that not of this channel. Yeah.
Yes.
Glen Z Catering. Glen Z Catering. So first time I see this name, but I'm just gonna call the name. Towards Silanga. Thank you very much for moderating today. You were on top of it. Let's just push it to 500. The likes, don't forget to like. It's allergical, as they say. Mhlaba Lindi, thank you. We appreciate you guys. Kakulu. Just thank you very much for being with us today. Until we see each other. I'm not gonna say tomorrow because I might say tomorrow and then Emily tells me otherwise. Ziblospo.
Throwing me under the bus.
I'm not. I'm not.
I have been preparing that Mapiri situation.
Yeah, I hear people saying Mapiri should come. Hey, after that voice, I've got a lot to say.
Situation.
I've got a lot to say.
We'll cover it tomorrow, guys. I'm done with it. We'll do it tomorrow. We have a lot of opinions about what we have.
Yeah. Crash. Thank you. Cash. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
We'll do it. If I'm saying we'll do it tomorrow, it's definitely happening tomorrow.
Thank you for confirming that you are a founder.
Yes, tomorrow it's happening. We are discussing Mapiri's a so-called Mapi because we are not even sure.
Are you discussing it? Bye, guys.